coaches, I thought, did a really nice job over these last few days of looking at everything we're doing offensively, defensively, special teams. So we've identified a lot of things that we want to do better, a lot of areas where we feel like we can improve, areas where we feel like we can adapt, and that's where having this after 8 games is important, where you can learn a lot from yourself and then get ready for a 9-game season, obviously with the first one coming up.
So for the second year in a row now, Kevin Stefanski is handing play calling duties over to his offensive coordinator. Just announced today that Kevin Stefanski will relinquish his play calling duties to offensive coordinator Tommy Rees for the remainder of the season. So we speculated all bye week what was going to change coming out of the bye.
Holy smokes, this is insane. Cleveland just flipped the whole NFL upside down. Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator turned acting head coach, just dropped a move so bold it's got the league spinning, while Kevin Stefanski sits back watching his reputation crumble like dry toast. Reese just set off a bomb in Berea that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. Reese isn't talking about maybe or someday. He's preparing Shedeur Sanders to take over as the starting quarterback. And he's doing it loud, proud, and without a single ounce of hesitation. No fake politeness, no waiting for approval. He's taking charge like a man on a mission. This isn't some rumor or headline fluff. This is a quarterback revolution happening right now. Live in Cleveland, and when you see how deep this goes, you'll realize this might be the biggest turning point the Browns have had in the last 10 years. Let's break this down because the headlines don't even scratch the surface of how wild this situation really is. Tommy Rees didn't step in as acting head coach just to babysit the roster or coast through damage control. No way! He took one look at this broken offense and decided it was time to rip the whole thing apart and rebuild it from the ground up. And here's the kicker. Reese isn't giving Shedeur Sanders a couple of cute practice snaps to keep the fans calm. He's all in, treating him like the new face of the franchise, like the quarterback Kevin Stefanski has spent months pretending doesn't even exist. You could feel the energy in Tommy Rees's voice. It wasn't just coach talk, it was real belief. He stood at that podium and spoke about Shedeur Sanders like he was introducing the next NFL superstar. The man was glowing with confidence as he praised Sanders' insane work ethic, saying the kid's been putting in the kind of grind that separates the greats from the ones who fade out fast. Reese broke it down piece by piece, how Sanders has been living in the film room, breaking down every angle, every read, every blitz like his career depends on it. He's mastered the playbook, locked in on the system, and built that rhythm every top-tier quarterback needs to turn plays into highlights. According to Reese, Shedeur's done everything humanly possible to prove he's ready for that spotlight. This dude's been the first one in the facility and the last one out. He's studying defenses until the janitors are locking up the building. He's throwing with receivers after hours, fine-tuning chemistry and timing like a mad scientist perfecting his formula. He's been doing everything a true franchise quarterback should do, except he's been stuck in the shadows, waiting for somebody brave enough to hand him the keys and say, "Show us what you've got." But here's where Reese's words hit different. He didn't just hype the grind, he explained why it matters. He said when a player works like that, when he locks in mentally and gives every ounce of himself to the craft, the game starts to change. Reese described it like something out of a movie, the moment when chaos turns into clarity, when everything that looks messy and overwhelming to most players suddenly slows down, almost like time itself hits pause. That's when quarterbacks start seeing windows before they even open, predicting defensive moves before they happen, feeling pressure before it ever touches them. It's that rare sixth sense only the great ones have, the kind that separates legends from the rest of the league. And according to Reese, Shedeur Sanders is already there. He's crossed that invisible line where the game stops being a puzzle and becomes a rhythm. The mental side, no longer an obstacle, it's his secret weapon. Reese said once a quarterback hits that level, the whole mindset changes. They stop worrying about surviving and start focusing on slicing defenses apart, finding completions, moving chains, and putting points on the board like it's second nature. That's the moment when talent becomes power, when potential turns into production. And that's exactly where Reese believes Shedeur is standing right now, on the edge of greatness, ready to explode the second he gets his shot. But then came the question that every fan in Cleveland has been dying to ask, the one that's been echoing through living rooms and comment sections for weeks. Tommy Reese's response was pure gold, smooth, confident, and calculated. He didn't hide behind cliches or toss out those cookie-cutter lines about trusting the process. No way. He looked that reporter dead in the eye and said, "Obviously my focus is where we are right now. That's not my focus." And right there, the whole room froze. because behind those calm words was a message loud enough to shake the entire organization. Reese wasn't saying no, he was saying not yet. He was sending a signal to everyone paying attention that the plan is already in motion, just not ready to be unleashed. What he meant was simple. He's making sure Shedeur Sanders isn't just ready. He's unstoppable. When that moment comes, Reese wants Sanders so locked in, so laser focused, that when he steps on that field, there won't be a single doubt left about who should be leading this team. That's real leadership right there. That's a coach with a vision, not a guy panicking for quick wins. Reese isn't about rushing, he's about precision. But you can feel it building, that electricity around Cleveland's facility, that quiet buzz turning into thunder. Something's coming, and it's got Shedeur Sanders written in bold across it. And here's where it gets even better, the behind-the-scenes work. Because Reese isn't just hyping Shedeur up in press conferences and disappearing after the cameras shut off. Nah, he's in the trenches with him every day. Watching tape together, tweaking plays, building chemistry, setting up a plan that's bigger than one game. It's about rewriting Cleveland's entire identity. Reese isn't just coaching Shedeur Sanders, he's obsessed, like a man on a mission who refuses to settle for average. Every practice feels like a championship game. Every drill has that Super Bowl intensity. He's out there with Sanders, tweaking every little detail, fixing his footwork, tightening his release, polishing his motion until it's pure perfection. Those small adjustments, they're turning into big-time game changers. Reese and Sanders have been grinding in the film room for hours, studying defenses like it's a secret code only they can crack. Reese is showing him how to read safeties before the snap, how to bait defenders with his eyes, and how to use body language to make them bite the wrong way. This isn't just practice, it's mental warfare training. And here's the headline moment. Insiders from the Browns facility are saying Reese has given Sanders first-team reps. That's no small deal. That's huge. It means Sanders is no longer running fake plays against backups. He's taking control of the real game plan, facing the starting defense, building chemistry with the top receivers, and owning every snap like it already belongs to him. And the feedback, straight fire. Everyone watching says Sanders is cooking. He's carving up that defense like it's nothing. The ball's flying out of his hand clean, tight, and on time. The deep throws, absolute art. High arcs, perfect spirals, dropping right where only his guy can catch it. Every throw Shedeur makes looks smooth and sharp. His mid-range passes are hitting receivers perfectly in stride, letting them rack up those extra yards with ease. His short game, quick, clean, and deadly accurate. He's firing that ball out fast, slicing up defenses, and moving the chains like a machine. This right here is exactly what the Browns offense has been starving for all season, and Tommy Rees knows it. He's molding it, perfecting it, and getting ready to drop it on the NFL like a storm nobody's ready for. Rees sees what Kevin Stefanski either can't or just won't see. He knows Shedeur Sanders was built for this. Back at Colorado, playing under Deion Sanders, the man was forged in fire. Every game was a headline, every throw dissected by critics, every mistake turned into a meme. And still, Shedeur came out cold-blooded. He became a sniper on the field, calm under pressure, locked in when the lights hit brightest. That's where he learned to stay cool when chaos exploded around him, to make impossible throws look effortless, to deliver in clutch moments where other quarterbacks crumble. And now, Tommy Rees is betting everything that the same precision, poise, and clutch DNA that made Shedeur a star in college is about to save Cleveland from total collapse. And honestly, when you watch him in practice, when you see that composure, the swagger, that quiet fire, you start to believe it too. You can hear the confidence in his voice, see the control in every motion, and it's hard to imagine this guy not succeeding. Kevin Stefanski still holding the title of head coach, but man, it's like the dude's completely lost control. His grip on the team, the staff, even his own decision-making, it's all slipping through his fingers while Tommy Rees is over there building a full-blown quarterback revolution. Rees is shaping Shedeur Sanders into a star, and Stefanski's acting like the man doesn't even exist. It's wild, confusing, and straight up disrespectful to everyone watching this unfold. Every press conference feels like deja vu. Reporters ask about Shedeur, and Stefanski swats those questions away like mosquitoes at a barbecue. He'll dodge, redirect, and sometimes flat out refuse to say Sanders' name unless he's cornered into it. And when he does talk quarterbacks, he goes on and on about Dillon Gabriel, like he's the second coming of Joe Montana. But come on. Anyone watching these games can see Gabriel looks lost out there, out of sync and drowning under NFL pressure. It's almost like Stefanski's stuck in denial, like admitting Shedeur might actually be better would shatter his whole identity. That kind of ego-driven stubbornness, it's poison for a team trying to win. And the contrast between Rees and Stefanski right now, it's electric. You've got one coach hyping his guy up, building him into a leader, while the other acts like the future of the franchise is invisible. The tension inside that building is so thick you could slice it clean with a knife. What's happening in Cleveland isn't just a quarterback controversy, it's an all-out power struggle. Here's the crazy poetic twist in all this. Tommy Rees is now the one calling the shots, and even if it's just temporary, Kevin Stefanski's old-school mindset finally has no power to stop what's coming. The dam's cracking wide open, and there's no patch big enough to hold back what's building in Cleveland. This isn't just a shift, it's a full-blown revolution, and it's got Shedeur Sanders' name stamped all over it in bold, blazing letters. And speaking of Shedeur, let's talk about how this man is handling the spotlight, the chaos, and the noise, because his reaction, pure class mixed with fire. After months of waiting, grinding, and proving himself while being ignored by Stefanski, Shedeur finally has a coach in Tommy Rees who believes in him, and he's not hiding that excitement one bit. And honestly, why should he? He earned this moment with sweat, patience, and non-stop hustle. You can see it in every workout. His energy is electric. You can hear it in his interviews, the confidence, the hunger, the calm swagger of a guy who knows what's coming. At practice, it's like the air shifts when he walks on the field. You feel it. And then came his Twitch stream, where the real Shedeur Sanders showed up. No script, no PR filter, just pure honesty. He got real with his fans, promising to give everything he's got in practice, saying he's laser focused on becoming the best version of himself before his number gets called. And the way he said it, man, you could hear the conviction. This wasn't some polished, media-trained line. It was emotion, straight from the heart. Shedeur told his viewers he's not just getting ready to play, he's getting ready to dominate. He's preparing to prove that all the noise, all the hype, and every ounce of expectation is justified. Shedeur Sanders isn't just training to play, he's getting ready to prove a point. He's out to show the entire NFL that Kevin Stefanski made one of the biggest mistakes of his career by keeping him benched for so long. But here's the thing, this isn't arrogance, it's confidence built from pure, relentless preparation. And when belief meets hard work like that, it becomes the most dangerous weapon in all of sports. Now imagine pairing that kind of fire with Tommy Rees's fearless play calling style. Rees doesn't coach scared, and he sure doesn't call plays like a man trying to avoid criticism. Nah, he coaches like he's hunting for blood. He's aggressive, unpredictable, and ready to go for the jugular every single drive. He's drawing up deep shots, stacking creative formations, and using motion to keep defenses guessing. He's not just trying to win games, he's trying to break them wide open. And that's exactly the kind of system that Shedeur Sanders thrives in. He's got the arm strength, the field vision, and the guts to make those risky throws look routine. Together, these two are building something that feels explosive, like a spark that could light up the entire franchise. Fans can feel it too. You can see it all over social media. The buzz is unreal. Everyone's asking the same question. Is this the start of a new quarterback era in Cleveland? Is this finally the moment when everything clicks? When the Browns go from boring to unstoppable? Or is this just a short-lived dream before Stefanski swoops back in, shuts it all down, and drags the team back into his safe, conservative, don't-lose playbook that's been choking the offense all year? Nobody knows what's next, but the energy is insane. Every little practice update gets picked apart, every Tommy Rees quote gets replayed, every Shedeur Sanders post gets shared like wildfire. And then came the moment that might have ended Kevin Stefanski's career for good, his flat-out disastrous press conference, the one that had reporters gasping, fans raging, and the entire NFL world shaking their heads in disbelief. A simple question about Shedeur Sanders turned into an absolute PR nightmare, and Stefanski handled it like he was trying to light his own coaching future on fire. Instead of keeping it classy or giving a respectful professional answer, he straight up threw Sanders under the bus for everyone to see. When asked about Shedeur, he didn't say, "We're evaluating," or "He's part of the process." Nope, he said, "Sanders isn't part of my plans," just like that, cold, dismissive, and final. No hesitation, no filter, just tossed out like it was nothing. You could feel the tension in the room shift instantly, but Stefanski didn't stop there. Oh no, he went full meltdown mode. He tried to justify it by claiming that Sanders showed up to practice banged up, painting this picture like Shedeur wasn't taking things seriously or wasn't committed to being available. That's the kind of statement that doesn't just sting, it smears. Then, as if he hadn't done enough damage, Stefanski doubled down again. He said that after evaluating Sanders during warm-ups, he decided Shedeur wasn't physically fit to play. Tried to spin it like he was doing the kid a favor, like this was some noble medical decision. Please, does he really think the fans or media are buying that story? There's a massive difference between protecting a player who's hurt and benching someone because of politics, pride, or plain ego. And everyone can see which one this is. Stefanski's excuse sounds thinner than a two-ply napkin at a gas station, and the backlash is brutal. Nobody's buying what Kevin Stefanski is selling. Not the fans, not the insiders, not even the analysts who used to defend him. The whole story sounds shaky from every angle. If Shedeur Sanders was really that hurt, then why was he out there all week practicing like normal? Why was Tommy Rees giving him first-team reps? And why was Shedeur himself saying he felt amazing and ready to roll? None of it makes sense. And when stories stop making sense in the NFL, people start assuming you're hiding something. And Stefanski's something is looking more obvious by the day. What most people believe he's hiding is fear. Fear that if Sanders finally gets his chance and balls out, it'll expose Stefanski's bad judgment for the whole world to see. He's terrified that Shedeur's success would make his loyalty to Dillon Gabriel look like one of the worst decisions in Browns history. And honestly, the evidence is stacking up against him fast. While Stefanski's out there throwing shade and spinning excuses, Tommy Rees is quietly watching everything unfold with laser focus. He's been on the sideline during practice, locked in on Shedeur like a scout who knows he's looking at a diamond waiting to shine. You can see it in Reese's body language. He knows exactly what's coming, and it's something Stefanski won't be able to stop. And Shedeur, he's been attacking every single rep like it's crunch time in the playoffs. No lazy throws, no half-speed drills, just pure intensity. Eyewitnesses say his passes are slicing through the air like rockets. Tight spirals, pinpoint accuracy, unstoppable rhythm. Even when the defense tries to disguise coverages or bring heat, his field vision stays cool and sharp. He's reading everything, reacting instantly, and making it look effortless. When defenders crashed the pocket, Shedeur Sanders didn't panic. He turned it into a highlight reel. He slipped right past the pressure with smooth footwork, dodging tackles like he had eyes in the back of his head. Extending plays, keeping drives alive, that's championship-level quarterbacking right there. That's the kind of play that makes coaches obsessed and makes entire franchises start thinking, yeah, we can build around this guy. You could feel the shift in the air during practice. Reporters on the sidelines felt it. The crowd buzzing behind the fences felt it. Even the vets, guys who've seen dozens of quarterbacks come and go, were nodding in quiet approval. They saw something different in Shedeur, something real and undeniable. It wasn't hype, it wasn't luck. It was pure talent mixed with ice-cold composure, something that can't be coached, copied, or faked. Every snap, every throw, every read, it all told the same story. Shedeur Sanders isn't some rookie begging for attention, he's already commanding it. The way he stands in that pocket, the way he controls the field, it's like watching the future unfold in real time. Whether Kevin Stefanski wants to accept it or not, Shedeur isn't next up. He's the guy right now. And Tommy Rees, he sees it plain as day. Every perfect pass, every calm reaction under fire. It's proof that Sanders is ready to lead this team today, not someday. The kid's ready to own that offense and carry Cleveland out of its misery. Tommy Rees isn't gunning for Kevin Stefanski's job out of ego. He's trying to save the Cleveland Browns from completely imploding. This franchise is hanging off the edge of a cliff, and Rees can see it clearer than anyone. The tension inside that locker room is so thick you could slice it with a dull knife. Players are whispering in corners. Energy is off, and the frustration is leaking into everything, from team meetings to the practice field. And then came the breaking point, the moment that proved the whole situation spiraling out of control. Myles Garrett, the face of this defense, the heart and soul of the team, finally snapped. When a guy like Myles, Mr. Professional, Mr. Lead by Example, steps up to a mic and lets it fly, that's not just frustration talking. That's a 5-alarm fire blazing across the league. Garrett didn't tiptoe around his words, didn't hide behind polished answers or soft coach talk. He came out raw and real, saying exactly what every player's been thinking but too afraid to say. He called out the coaching staff directly. No filters, no smoke screens. And when Myles Garrett, the quiet enforcer, the respected leader, says he's done listening to Stefanski's excuses, that's not a minor disagreement. That's a full-blown rebellion. He said he's sick of the quarterback carousel, tired of watching the same broken system spin in circles while the offense stays stuck in neutral. You could feel the shockwaves from that press conference. Reporters froze. Teammates exchanged looks. The message was crystal clear. The locker room has hit its breaking point, and the players are no longer buying what Stefanski's selling. Myles Garrett has finally hit that breaking point, and you can't blame him one bit. He's done listening to leadership talk circles around accountability when nobody's actually being held accountable. For him, it's simple math. Stop preaching, start producing. Enough with the buzzwords, the excuses, the endless trust the process speeches that never translate into wins. Garrett's message couldn't be clearer. Just win football games. That's it. That's the whole formula. Week after week, Garrett's out there putting on a masterclass, terrorizing quarterbacks, stacking up sacks, forcing fumbles, and dragging this defense forward like a man carrying the whole city on his shoulders. He's playing like a superhero while the offense looks lost in slow motion. The man's giving everything, his time, his body, his pride, and yet the scoreboard keeps spitting in his face. It's like watching Atlas hold up the world while everyone else just stares. Garrett's dominating every Sunday, leaving his heart on the field, but the offense keeps tripping over itself. Another 3 and out, another wasted drive, another defensive stand that ends with the unit completely drained by the fourth quarter because they've been out there for 35 minutes trying to clean up the offense's mess. And you can hear it in his voice now, that exhaustion, that frustration that only comes from carrying too much for too long. It's the sound of a man who's doing everything right, but keeps paying for everyone else's mistakes. Garrett's basically saying, I can't keep saving this team alone. No matter how many highlight plays he delivers, no matter how much heart he pours into every snap, the results just don't match the effort. And that's breaking him down. Honestly, who could blame him? Anyone in his position would feel the same. Myles Garrett could have packed his bags and joined a contender. He could have chased rings and primetime glory somewhere else. But no, he chose Cleveland. He signed that massive contract extension because he believed. He believed in the vision, the coaching staff, and the promise that the Browns were finally building something real. But what has he gotten in return? Chaos, mediocrity, and disappointment stacked on top of disappointment. That kind of betrayal eats at a man. It drains your soul when you're giving every ounce of effort and watching it all get wasted week after week. Even former NFL player and outspoken analyst Emmanuel Acho couldn't stay quiet on this one. He jumped in and called it exactly how he saw it. No sugarcoating, no filters. Acho said when a player like Myles Garrett steps outside the script and goes public with his frustration, that's not just noise, it's a blaring red flag waving high for everyone in the league to see. Because when the most respected voice in your locker room calls out the coaching staff and the offense in front of cameras, it means something has snapped. The players don't believe in the leadership anymore. They've stopped trusting the plan. They're still showing up, still running plays, but mentally, they've checked out. And that's the kind of fracture you can't patch up with team meetings or pep talks. Acho didn't hold back. He said it straight up. When a player of Garrett's professionalism and stature breaks the golden rule about keeping locker room business private, it means there's a real crisis simmering behind the scenes. And once that tension hits a boiling point, it doesn't just fade away, it explodes, taking the whole organization down with it. And the worst part, this isn't just some hot take cooked up for clicks. This is coming from a guy who's been there, who's seen teams implode from the inside out. He recognizes the signs, and Cleveland is flashing every single one of them. And what does Kevin Stefanski do with all this chaos closing in? He doubles down, again. He keeps sending Dylan Gabriel out there week after week like the 53rd try is somehow gonna fix what the first 52 couldn't. It's maddening. The offense keeps sputtering, the chemistry keeps crumbling, and yet Stefanski stands there pretending everything's fine while the whole operation burns down in slow motion right in front of everyone's eyes. It's pure stubbornness, pride disguised as leadership. This kind of decision-making doesn't just lose games, it destroys franchises. It's the exact brand of blind loyalty that gets coaches fired and teams stuck in rebuild purgatory for years. That's why Tommy Rees isn't just filling in anymore. He's stepping up like a firefighter walking straight into a blaze, trying to save what's left before it all turns to ash. Reese knows what Stefanski either can't admit or refuses to face. The season's slipping away fast. The locker room's fractured, faith is fading, and if something bold doesn't happen soon, the whole thing is gonna collapse into a pile of wasted potential. While Stefanski keeps clinging to a sinking ship, Reese is out here trying to grab the wheel before it crashes. He's reading the situation perfectly. He knows this isn't about politics or patience anymore. It's about survival. Kevin Stefanski's officially running out of time, running out of allies, and running out of excuses. The whispers that used to circulate quietly behind closed doors, they're loud now. They're echoing through social media, in press conferences, and even inside the locker room itself. Everyone, from fans in the cheap seats to respected insiders to players on the roster, can see the same truth staring them in the face. This isn't working. Sticking with Dylan Gabriel as the starter has officially become the most talked about and most roasted decision in all of Cleveland. And that's saying a lot for a franchise that's practically built a museum of bad decisions over the decades. The verdict from fans, insiders, and analysts is unanimous. Gabriel's got backup talent, not starter juice. He's a serviceable player, sure, someone who can hold it down for a few drives if your main guy goes down. But a playoff caliber quarterback, a franchise leader, not even close. Once NFL defenses got enough tape on him, it was game over. They cracked the code on his habits, picked apart his timing, spotted his favorite targets, and figured out exactly how to bait him into mistakes. Now, every Sunday, it's the same sad story. Defenses disguise coverages, and Gabriel falls right into the trap. The moment pressure hits, he looks completely lost. His eyes drop to the rush instead of scanning the field, his footwork collapses, and suddenly he's throwing off his back foot into coverage like it's a bad highlight reel waiting to happen. He's taking sacks he should escape, missing wide open receivers, and staring down his first read like a neon sign screaming, "Intercept me!" This isn't just bad football, it's momentum murder. You can feel it on the field too, the frustration from his teammates, the receivers busting routes at full speed, the linemen fighting off blitzes, the running backs laying out blocks, all for nothing. Because when the quarterback can't deliver, everyone starts questioning why they're bleeding for a system that doesn't reward effort. And that's the real danger here. It's not just about losing games, it's about losing belief. Once a locker room starts feeling like their hard work doesn't matter, the spirit breaks, and that's exactly what's happening in Cleveland right now. The whispers in Cleveland, they're not whispers anymore. They're screams. What started as quiet locker room talk has exploded into a full-blown movement, shaking the entire city. Everywhere you turn, social media, sports radio, fan podcasts, it's the same message blasting loud and clear. Give Shedeur Sanders the job. The fans are done waiting, the analysts are done sugarcoating, and even players inside the locker room are reportedly saying what everyone else is thinking. Why won't management just make the move that's staring them right in the face? This isn't speculation anymore, it's pressure, building louder and heavier every single day. Cleveland knows what it wants, and it wants Shedeur now. So tell me, do you think the Browns will finally pull the trigger and hand him the reins? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video with every real football fan you know, and I'll see you on the next one.